My dear students, before we begin this journey, let me tell you something that might surprise you. There is a powerful way to learn English that most students never use. A method so simple, so peaceful, and so natural that it requires no stress, no pressure, and no long hours of memorizing. It is the method your brain has been waiting for. The method of sleep learning. Learning English while you sleep. Imagine closing your eyes at night, letting your body rest, and still improving your vocabulary, pronunciation, confidence, and understanding. Imagine waking up every morning with better English than the day before. Imagine becoming the student who learns even while dreaming. Tonight, we begin that journey. Welcome to your 10-chapter English Sleep Learning Booster. Listen, relax, absorb, grow. This time, English enters your mind gently, like a soft whisper that becomes a powerful voice inside you. Let us begin. Chapter 1. The Science of Learning While You Sleep. When you sleep, your brain becomes far more powerful than most people realize. Many students think that learning stops the moment they close their eyes, but in reality, this is the moment when some of the most important learning begins. Your brain does not simply switch off at night. Instead, it enters a state of deep organization and restoration, working quietly in the background like a skilled librarian, arranging thousands of books on perfectly aligned shelves. Every thought, every new English word you heard, every sentence you tried to understand, and every concept you learned during the day gets examined, sorted, and strengthened. This remarkable process is known as memory consolidation, and it is one of the brain's greatest gifts to learners like you. During the memory consolidation stage, your mind becomes highly selective and incredibly focused. It removes distractions, ignores unnecessary information, and pays attention only to the most meaningful patterns. This is why nighttime is such a powerful moment for learning a language. When you are awake, your brain is busy dealing with many different thoughts: school, family, goals, responsibilities, and worries. But when you sleep, all of that noise disappears. What remains is a calm, open space where learning can settle in naturally. Your brain begins to strengthen connections, build deeper memory links, and rehearse the information you absorbed earlier without any effort from you. This is what makes sleep learning effective. When you listen to English while sleeping, you are placing soft, repeated language patterns into a mind that is already in organize and strengthen mode. Your brain hears the rhythm of English, the flow of sentences, the rise and fall of intonation, and the shape of new vocabulary. Even though you are unconscious, your brain is still listening. It does not analyze or translate, but it absorbs. Slowly, gently, effortlessly, the language enters your memory. This is the same way a child learns their first language, through constant, calm exposure long before they begin speaking. Think of your brain at night as a sponge resting in water. It absorbs what surrounds it, and repeated words become familiar without force. Familiarity becomes comfort. Comfort becomes confidence. And confidence becomes fluency. Even if you feel like nothing is happening, the changes are forming deep inside, quietly but powerfully. That is why many students who listen to English during sleep wake up feeling more comfortable with the language, even if they cannot explain why. Their brain was working while their body was resting. So tonight, as you prepare to sleep, remind yourself that this is not wasted time. This is not empty silence. This is not a pause in your learning. It is actually one of the most important parts of your English journey. Your mind may appear still, but inside, thousands of tiny connections are being built. Words are being strengthened, sounds are being shaped, knowledge is being organized. You are learning quietly, deeply, beautifully. Your body sleeps, but your mind grows. Chapter 2: Why Sleep Learning Works Best for English. English is not just a language of words. It is a language of rhythm, tone, and natural musical flow. Every sentence in English carries a kind of melody, and every speaker follows that melody without even thinking about it. This is why English is often easier to absorb when you hear it, rather than when you only study it. You don't need to force English into your mind. You don't need to struggle with memorizing every rule. What you need is repeated exposure, hearing English often enough that your brain begins to recognize and understand the patterns automatically. And one of the best times to give your brain this exposure is while you sleep. When you are asleep, your brain is free from daily stress, fear, anxiety, and pressure. It is relaxed, calm, open, and fully focused on absorbing whatever enters the subconscious mind. When you listen to English during sleep, your brain does not overthink or get stressed about grammar rules. Instead, it simply absorbs the sound. It picks up pronunciation, natural tone, sentence structure, rhythm, and the emotional flow of speech. Without trying, without effort, without confusion, your mind captures the patterns. This is why sleep learning feels soft but powerful. You are learning the way your brain loves to learn, quietly and naturally. As the audio plays throughout the night, your brain keeps hearing English again and again. It does not matter if you consciously understand every sentence. What matters is the repetition. Repetition is the master teacher. It is the secret behind every fluent speaker. When your brain hears English repeatedly while resting, the language slowly becomes familiar. It shifts from being foreign and difficult to being friendly and comfortable. You start recognizing the sounds even when you are awake. You start understanding phrases faster. You start speaking more smoothly because the language feels like it belongs to you. Students who use sleep learning grow faster because they use time wisely. Most people learn only when they are fully awake and active. But sleep learners use both day and night. Their bodies rest, but their minds continue learning. There is no fear of making mistakes, no pressure of speaking correctly, no stress about understanding everything. The learning happens gently, silently, and continuously. English becomes a gentle background sound that your brain welcomes naturally. The more you hear it, the more comfortable you become with it. And comfort is the foundation of fluency. When English no longer scares you, when the sound no longer feels strange, when the flow feels normal, speaking becomes much easier. Every night of sleep learning adds another layer of confidence, another layer of familiarity, another layer of understanding. You may not notice the progress instantly, but it is happening deep in your mind. Little by little, night by night, your fluency grows. And one day, you will realize that the English you once struggled with now feels like a part of you. All because you allowed your brain to learn in the calmest, most natural way possible. Chapter 3: Preparing your mind for night learning. Before you fall asleep, your brain needs a gentle transition from the busy world outside to the peaceful world inside. All day long, your mind deals with noise, responsibilities, decisions, and stress. It cannot learn deeply when it is tense or overloaded. That is why preparing your mind before night learning is so important. You must guide your thoughts into a calm zone where learning becomes effortless. Think of your mind like a beautiful garden. If the soil is hard and dry, even the best seeds cannot grow. But if the soil is soft, peaceful, and ready, every seed you plant turns into something strong and beautiful. English is a seed, and your relaxed mind is the soft soil. So before sleep, take a few slow, deep breaths. Feel your body becoming lighter. Feel your thoughts becoming quieter. Let go of any worries you carried during the day. Remind yourself that nighttime is not a time for stress. It is a time for renewal. As you breathe, speak softly to your heart. Tonight, my mind will learn. Tonight, my English will grow. Tonight, I will become better than I was yesterday. These simple words create a powerful expectation inside your subconscious mind. When you believe you will learn, you open the door to learning even more deeply. Your environment also plays a big role in preparing your mind. Keep your room quiet and dim. Make sure your body feels comfortable. A peaceful space produces a peaceful mind, and a peaceful mind absorbs language naturally. You don't need to create a perfect environment, you just need to create a comfortable one. Even small changes, turning off bright lights, lowering the volume of your thoughts, slowing your breathing, can make a big difference. As you settle in, focus on keeping your heart calm. A calm heart allows the brain to relax, and a relaxed brain becomes highly receptive to new language. Try to release any heavy emotions. If something stressed you today, tell your mind that it can rest now. You will deal with everything tomorrow, with strength and clarity. For now, your only job is to be still. Let your thoughts become light, like soft clouds floating across the sky. Don't force your mind to be empty. Just allow it to drift naturally. When your brain stops fighting, learning becomes smooth and quiet. This is the perfect mental state for sleep learning. Open, gentle, and peaceful. In this state, your subconscious mind becomes like a sponge, ready to absorb English without resistance. Remember, your brain learns best when you feel safe, relaxed, and unhurried. When your heart is calm, your mind opens. When your mind opens, English flows in effortlessly. So tonight, allow yourself to experience that peaceful readiness. Let your mind soften. Let your thoughts quiet down. Let your heart settle into comfort. Tonight, you are not just preparing to sleep. You are preparing to grow. You are preparing to learn in the quietest and most powerful way. And as you close your eyes, you will feel exactly what you need: peace, safety, calmness, and a mind ready to absorb English naturally. Chapter 4. The Power of Repetition While You Sleep. Repetition is the mother of mastery, and this is a truth that applies to every skill, especially language learning. Your brain is naturally designed to recognize patterns, and the more it encounters a pattern, the stronger the connection becomes. That is why repeated exposure to English, even while you sleep, is incredibly effective. Unlike studying for hours during the day when your mind may tire or become distracted, sleep provides a perfect environment for subtle, powerful repetition. When you listen to English at night, your brain receives the same words, sentences, and sounds over and over. Each repetition strengthens neural pathways, making those words easier to recall, understand, and use in the future. Sleep learning relies on this natural mechanism. Every time you hear English during your rest, your mind silently records it. Your subconscious does not question or analyze, It simply absorbs the language. Every sound, every rhythm, every intonation becomes familiar, and your brain begins to recognize these patterns as normal and natural. Unlike daytime study, where pressure and conscious effort can interfere, repetition during sleep is effortless. You are not forcing yourself to memorize rules or practice grammar consciously. Instead, your brain is quietly doing the work on its own. And this kind of learning is deeply effective because it is stress-free. When you wake up in the morning after a night of repeated listening, something remarkable happens. The language that once felt distant or difficult now feels familiar. Words that seemed strange yesterday suddenly make sense. Sentences that were confusing yesterday now seem easier to understand. You may not consciously know how this happens, but your brain has been working silently all night, internalizing what it heard. This is the magic of repetition. It strengthens memory, improves comprehension, and makes speaking more natural, without any effort or frustration. Repetition also affects your confidence. Because your brain has heard the sounds many times, speaking in English no longer feels intimidating. You feel more comfortable forming sentences. Your pronunciation improves, even if you are not practicing aloud. Slowly, the language begins to flow inside you as though it were always meant to be there. Every night of repetition, every gentle wave of English entering your mind, carries knowledge deeper than daytime learning ever could. Learning during sleep complements your conscious study, making your progress faster and more lasting. Think of repetition like calm waves washing over the shore of your mind. Each wave leaves behind small improvements, small familiarities, small building blocks of mastery. Over time, these waves accumulate, and your fluency grows. Your vocabulary strengthens, your pronunciation sharpens, and your comprehension deepens. Even while your body rests, your brain continues the quiet work of learning, reinforcing what you practiced and introducing subtle new patterns that prepare you for more confident English speaking. Sleep repetition is not just about hearing English. It is about allowing your mind to internalize it naturally, repeatedly, and effortlessly. Tonight, as you rest, let repetition become your teacher. Let every word, every phrase, every sentence flow gently into your mind. And tomorrow, you will wake to discover that your English has quietly, powerfully improved while you slept. Chapter 5. Positive Words That Train Your Confidence. Confidence is one of the most important elements in learning English, yet it is not built when you speak alone or when you practice under pressure. True confidence begins quietly, in the mind, silently and gently, long before it appears in your words. Sleep learning offers a unique and powerful way to build this confidence effortlessly. While your body rests, your subconscious mind is open, alert, and fully capable of absorbing positive reinforcement. This is a time when your mind is free from fear, judgment, and pressure, allowing English to enter naturally and shape your sense of ability from within. When you listen to English while sleeping, your brain receives information without questioning, analyzing, or doubting. There are no mistakes, no corrections, and no fear of failure. The mind simply absorbs sounds, sentences, and structures in a calm, receptive state. This creates a safe space where your confidence can grow silently. Every word you hear becomes familiar. Every sentence becomes easier to understand. And slowly, English begins to feel like a natural part of your inner world. You are training your mind to accept English not as something difficult or intimidating, but as something approachable and friendly. Sleep learning also works like a soft whisper of encouragement. Every night, as you rest, your subconscious is exposed to positive affirmations through repeated phrases and gentle listening. Messages like, "You can learn," "You are improving," and "You will become fluent" sink deeply into your mind. They reach the part of your brain that controls self-belief, shaping your thoughts without any conscious effort. When you wake up, you will notice a subtle change in how you feel about speaking English. Fear and hesitation diminish. Courage and readiness increase. Your mind is prepared to face English without resistance, and your confidence becomes more natural and stable. The process of building confidence through sleep is gradual, much like the slow rise of the sun. Each night of listening adds a little more strength, a little more familiarity, and a little more courage. Over time, these small changes accumulate, creating a solid foundation for confident speaking. You may not notice these improvements immediately, but with consistency, you will gradually feel that English is no longer a challenge, but a friend that you can communicate with comfortably. Confidence grows quietly, almost invisibly, but its impact is profound when you finally speak. Moreover, confidence built during sleep carries over into every aspect of learning. Your willingness to practice during the day increases. Your ability to understand spoken English improves. You feel more motivated to speak, read, and write without fear. Your mind believes in your ability before your lips even form the words, and this makes learning faster, smoother, and more enjoyable. Sleep learning is not just about absorbing vocabulary or grammar. It is about creating a mindset where English feels familiar, achievable, and natural. So tonight, as you close your eyes, let your mind listen and absorb with openness. Let English enter gently, and let your confidence grow silently. By tomorrow morning, you will feel more ready, more capable, and more prepared to face English with courage. Every night, your mind is quietly shaping the confident, fluent speaker you are destined to become. Chapter 6. Building Vocabulary. Naturally and effortlessly. Many students believe that learning vocabulary means long hours of memorization, flashcards, and constant repetition during the day. While these methods can work, they often feel stressful, exhausting, and slow. The truth is that your brain is much smarter than that. It learns best when it hears words naturally, calmly, and repeatedly, especially during sleep. At night, your subconscious mind is open and receptive, ready to absorb new language without any pressure. This is the perfect time to build vocabulary effortlessly, the way children learn their first language, simply by hearing it repeatedly in context. While you sleep, simple English phrases can enter your subconscious mind and begin to form permanent connections. Words for daily life, words for common conversations, words that boost your confidence. All of these can be absorbed quietly, without conscious effort. You may not even realize that your brain is learning, but when you wake up, the results are remarkable. You might find yourself remembering words you never tried to memorize, understanding sentences that seemed difficult before, or recognizing phrases that once felt unfamiliar. This happens because sleep strengthens memory. Your brain is organizing, storing, and reinforcing vocabulary while your body rests, making learning both natural and permanent. Vocabulary learned during the day becomes stronger at night through repetition and consolidation. Think about it. Words you studied in the afternoon or phrases you practiced in the evening gain extra power when they are reviewed subconsciously while you sleep. Your mind continues to replay sounds, pronunciations, and sentence patterns in the background. This repetition is subtle but effective. Each night, the English you hear creates stronger neural connections, making it easier to recall words and use them correctly during the day. Over time, even words that were difficult to remember, or phrases that once seemed complicated, begin to feel familiar, comfortable, and easy to use. This method of vocabulary building is completely natural. Children do not memorize words in lists. They hear language over and over, in songs, stories, and daily conversations, and it gradually becomes part of them. Sleep learning works in a similar way for adults. Your mind quietly absorbs words while you rest, and every repetition strengthens your understanding. Unlike stressful memorization, this method is peaceful, calm, and effortless. It allows your brain to work in its optimal state, making learning enjoyable rather than tiring. The key is consistency. Listening to English during sleep, even for a short time each night, gradually fills your mind with vocabulary. Over weeks and months, this collection of words becomes a strong foundation for fluency. You will notice that speaking, understanding, and forming sentences becomes easier because your mind already knows the words before your lips even move. You are no longer struggling to recall words under pressure. Instead, vocabulary comes naturally, effortlessly, and comfortably. So tonight, as you prepare to sleep, let your mind absorb English phrases gently. Trust your brain to store them automatically. Let your vocabulary grow quietly while you rest. By tomorrow morning, you will be a little stronger, a little more confident, and a little closer to speaking English fluently, all without memorization, stress, or force. This is the beauty of learning naturally, through repetition and calm absorption. Chapter 7. Training Pronunciation Through Night Listening. Pronunciation is one of the most important aspects of learning English, and it begins with listening. You cannot pronounce words correctly if you cannot hear them accurately. Every sound in English has a specific rhythm, tone, and stress, and your brain needs to recognize these patterns before your tongue can reproduce them. This is where night listening, or sleep learning, becomes an incredible tool. While you rest, your brain continues to process the sounds you hear, training your ear to distinguish subtle differences and internalizing the correct pronunciation of words and phrases. Even when you are not consciously aware, your mind is quietly absorbing these patterns and preparing your speech for the future. Listening to English during sleep allows your brain to focus on the sounds without the interference of conscious thought or self-criticism. There is no fear of making mistakes, no pressure to respond, and no rush to perform. Instead, your brain can concentrate entirely on recognizing the correct pronunciation and intonation. Slowly, your tongue and vocal muscles begin to mirror these sounds unconsciously. Over time, this repeated exposure helps your mouth form the correct shapes for English sounds naturally. By the time you wake up, your brain has already started shaping the correct pronunciation patterns, making speaking smoother and more accurate. As you continue this practice nightly, you will begin to notice subtle but powerful changes. Your speech becomes smoother because your mind already knows how sounds flow together. Your rhythm becomes more natural as your brain internalizes the musical patterns of English sentences. Your pronunciation becomes more accurate, as repeated exposure helps you distinguish sounds that were previously confusing or difficult. Even if you do not practice speaking aloud while sleeping, your brain is rehearsing quietly in the background, strengthening neural pathways that control articulation and speech clarity. Each night of listening is like a silent training session for your mouth, your tongue, and your brain. Night listening also helps you develop an intuitive understanding of English sounds. Over time, you will notice that certain words, phrases, and sentence structures feel familiar the moment you hear them. Your ear becomes attuned to the correct pronunciation, and your tongue learns to follow automatically. This reduces hesitation, increases confidence, and makes speaking more enjoyable. The learning happens effortlessly because it is aligned with the natural way your brain processes sound during rest, through calm repetition and deep absorption. The power of sleep learning lies in consistency. The more nights you dedicate to listening, the stronger your pronunciation becomes. Unlike traditional methods that rely on stressful drills or conscious repetition, this method allows your brain to practice without pressure. Every night, English enters your subconscious mind like gentle waves, leaving behind clearer pronunciation, more natural rhythm, and stronger speech patterns. Even small daily improvements accumulate into significant progress over time. So tonight, as you prepare to sleep, let your mind listen carefully to English sounds. Let every word, every phrase, and every sentence be absorbed quietly. Trust your brain to practice while your body rests. By morning, your pronunciation will have improved subtly but powerfully. Every night of listening brings you closer to speaking English clearly, naturally, and confidently, effortlessly shaping the voice you have always wanted. Chapter 8. Creating a Night Routine for English Growth. Routine is one of the most powerful tools a learner can have. Consistency is what transforms small efforts into remarkable results, and this is especially true for sleep learning. The more consistent you are with your night routine, the stronger your progress becomes, and the faster you will notice improvement in your English skills. Creating a structured and calming night routine not only helps your brain absorb language effectively, but it also signals to your subconscious that learning is happening naturally and effortlessly. By turning sleep into a structured learning opportunity, every night becomes a quiet but powerful lesson. A perfect sleep English routine starts with choosing the right audio. Select calm English recordings, perhaps slow conversations, vocabulary repetitions, or positive affirmations. The key is to choose content that is easy to follow and not overwhelming. Your brain should be able to absorb it passively without needing to concentrate or analyze. This sets the foundation for relaxed learning. As you play the audio, make sure the volume is comfortable. Not loud, not intrusive, just soft enough for your mind to hear clearly. The gentle repetition of English at a soft volume creates a natural, stress-free learning environment that your brain can process effortlessly while you rest. Next, it is important to let yourself sleep naturally. There is no need to force your mind to stay awake or to actively try to memorize the content. The purpose of this routine is calm absorption, not forced memorization. Lie down in a comfortable position, relax your body, and let your mind drift into rest. Your brain is capable of learning even when your conscious mind is asleep. This is the remarkable power of sleep learning. Your subconscious mind continues to work, quietly reinforcing vocabulary, pronunciation, and sentence structures while your body recharges. Relaxation is the secret ingredient that allows learning to happen without stress. As you sleep, allow your brain to absorb the English audio naturally. The repetition of words, phrases, and sentences begins to strengthen memory pathways. You do not need to analyze or repeat anything aloud. Your brain does the work silently and effectively. This process strengthens your language foundation in a way that daytime learning alone cannot achieve. Over time, the accumulation of these nightly repetitions results in stronger vocabulary recall, better pronunciation, and increased familiarity with English patterns. Your brain becomes like a sponge, soaking in knowledge effortlessly while your body rests. Finally, wake up with awareness. Take a moment to notice how English feels easier than before. You may recognize familiar words, phrases, or sentence structures that were previously challenging. This awareness reinforces your subconscious learning and motivates you to continue the routine consistently. Over time, this simple night routine transforms your bed into a classroom and your dreams into a learning partner. Every night becomes a lesson. Every sleep becomes progress. And your English skills grow steadily and naturally. This is the easiest routine you will ever follow. Simple, peaceful, and incredibly effective. By committing to it, you are not just sleeping. You are learning, growing, and moving steadily toward fluency every single night. Chapter 9. Waking up with a stronger mind. When morning comes, something remarkable happens inside your mind. While your body rested peacefully, your brain continued its quiet work, consolidating memories, reinforcing patterns, and absorbing English in subtle, powerful ways. You don't learn everything in a single night, but each night of focused listening and calm repetition adds a small layer of growth. And when these small layers accumulate over time, the results are extraordinary. This is the beauty of sleep learning. Incremental progress, invisible while it happens, but visible every morning when you notice your skills improving. Each morning becomes proof that your mind is growing stronger, even when you are not actively studying. As you wake up, you may notice small but important changes. Sentences that once seemed complicated now feel easier to understand. Words that were unfamiliar yesterday are suddenly more comfortable today. Your comprehension feels smoother, as if your mind recognizes English effortlessly. These subtle shifts are a result of the subconscious practice your brain performed during sleep. It has quietly strengthened the connections between sounds, words, and meanings, creating a mental network that allows understanding to flow more naturally. You may not notice it immediately, but each morning brings evidence that your English has quietly become stronger. Morning is also a time to recognize the confidence that has been building in your mind. Because your brain has practiced while you rested, speaking becomes easier and more natural. You feel less hesitation and less fear of making mistakes. Words come more smoothly, pronunciation feels more accurate, and forming sentences becomes more intuitive. This confidence grows silently but steadily, giving you the courage to speak more, listen more, and engage with English without anxiety. The subconscious reinforcement from sleep learning makes you a more confident learner. one who is ready to take every opportunity to practice and improve. Each morning can also serve as a powerful reminder of your progress. Seeing the improvement, no matter how small, builds motivation. You begin to associate sleep and listening with growth and success. This awareness strengthens your consistency because you recognize that every night you dedicate to listening is another step toward fluency. Over time, this consistent practice forms a lifelong habit of learning. The habit is no longer just about studying actively during the day. It becomes about integrating learning into every aspect of your life, including your rest. Your mind learns that growth can be calm, continuous, and effortless. The key is to embrace these small morning wins, celebrate them quietly, and use them to fuel further improvement. Recognize that progress is gradual, yet powerful, and that each day builds on the last. Your mornings will begin to feel like checkpoints of achievement, proof that you are moving steadily toward mastery. Each day, your fluency, comprehension, and confidence strengthen because your mind has been working even while you slept. Over weeks and months, this approach transforms learning from a stressful task into a natural, ongoing journey of growth. So, when you wake up tomorrow, take a moment to feel the difference. Appreciate the subtle improvements. Acknowledge that your mind has become stronger while your body rested. Let this awareness motivate you to continue your journey. Every morning is not just the start of a new day, it is the start of a new level of English mastery. Your mind is refreshed, upgraded, and ready for continued growth. Chapter 10. Your Transformation Through Sleep Learning. My dear students, as you near the end of this journey, it is important to recognize the incredible transformation that sleep learning can bring to your life. Learning English is no longer confined to textbooks, classrooms, or study hours during the day. With consistent practice and the right night routine, you have discovered a method that allows your mind to absorb knowledge while your body rests. Every night, as you sleep, your subconscious mind is quietly organizing, storing, and reinforcing English words, phrases, grammar, and pronunciation. You are no longer just a daytime learner. You have become a student who learns effortlessly while sleeping. This is not a small achievement. It is a remarkable shift in how you approach language learning, a transformation that sets you apart from others who rely solely on traditional study methods. This transformation makes you unstoppable. You are now using one of the most natural and powerful tools your brain possesses: restful repetition. While most students struggle with memorization and forced practice, you have learned to leverage the quiet hours of the night to strengthen your language skills. Your mind is learning without stress, without pressure, and without fear of mistakes. Each night becomes a silent, yet highly effective lesson in English. Words become familiar, sentences become easier, and pronunciation becomes smoother. Over time, these nightly sessions build a foundation that daytime practice alone could never achieve. You are creating a continuous cycle of learning that works day and night, making your progress steady, consistent, and long-lasting. Remember this truth forever. Your mind never stops learning. Your growth never stops, and your potential never sleeps. Each night is a new opportunity, a chance to improve, and a step closer to fluency. Even when you close your eyes and rest, your brain is actively shaping your understanding of English, reinforcing what you have learned, and preparing you for new challenges. This knowledge should give you immense motivation and confidence. You are not wasting time when you sleep. You are investing in yourself, in your fluency, and in the future version of you who speaks English confidently and effortlessly. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, close your eyes with intention and confidence. Let English gently enter your dreams. Let your mind absorb, repeat, and strengthen knowledge quietly. Visualize yourself waking up with better comprehension, smoother pronunciation, and stronger confidence. Every night, your subconscious mind is preparing you to be more fluent, more capable, and more confident. This is the essence of sleep learning. Growing, learning, and improving even when your body rests. You are evolving into a learner who embraces both day and night learning, a student who understands the power of consistent, calm repetition. You are growing stronger with every night, absorbing knowledge naturally, and building confidence silently. You are learning, improving, and becoming fluent, even while you sleep. This is not just a method. It is a transformation, a shift in mindset, and a new way to approach learning English for life. Embrace it, trust it, and allow your mind to reach its full potential night after night. Final ending. Sleep with purpose. Wake with power. My dear students, as you prepare to close your eyes tonight, remember this. You are not just going to sleep. You are stepping into a silent classroom where your mind becomes the teacher and English becomes the lesson. Every night you choose to listen, you choose improvement. Every night you relax with English, you choose growth. Every night you give your brain peaceful input, you choose transformation. You are becoming the kind of student who does not waste a single moment. You use your day to learn. You use your night to grow. And slowly, silently, beautifully, you are becoming fluent. Tonight, let English flow into your thoughts like soft light. Let words surround you like gentle waves. Let confidence rise inside you like the moonlight shining through your window. You are not behind. You are not weak. You are not slow. You are evolving. You are improving. You are becoming the future version of yourself. The version that speaks English clearly, confidently, and beautifully. On my channel, English Achieve Students Hub, we believe in using every moment wisely, day and night, to become the best version of yourself. Let this idea guide you as you rest. Growth never stops, even when your body sleeps. Close your eyes with purpose. Sleep with peace. Grow with every breath. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, remember this. You are one night closer to fluency, one night closer to confidence, and one night closer to the English-speaking future you dream of. Your journey continues tomorrow night, and the night after that, and every night you choose to believe in yourself. Good night, my brilliant students. Sleep deeply. Learn naturally. Grow endlessly. Your English is waiting for you in your dreams, ready to transform you quietly, powerfully, and beautifully.